हेलो वेलकम टू यूपीएससी एवेन्यू। माय नेम इज़ प्रतीश दुबे और हम इस चैनल में यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जाम और अदर कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम से रिलेटेड करंट अफेयर टॉपिक्स डिस्कस करते हैं। सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट सोलर पीवी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग and the recent order by the Ministry of Renewable Energy, New and Renewable Energy regarding the ban on imports of solar PV modules from outside the country। तो क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ न्यू एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी है उन्होंने 1 अप्रैल से जो सोलर पीवी मॉड्यूल्स होते हैं विच आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर जनरेटिंग सोलर पावर, वो उसका इंपोर्ट बैन कर दिया है। नाउ द गवर्नमेंट रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट्स नीड टू प्रोक्योर दीज सोलर मॉड्यूल्स फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स। ठीक है, और ये जो डोमेस्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं इन्हें एक लिस्ट पे मेंशन किया गया है एंड दैट लिस्ट इज द ALMM लिस्ट। ठीक है, एंड फिर इसमें देयर हैव बीन सम इंटरनल within the government, some internal criticism of this list, this ALMM list, and we will talk about that more in detail later in this video. So let's look at the headline first. Despite red flags, Ministry reimposed solar module list of domestic players. Solar module availability, affordability issue persists post ALMM reinstatement. Now, in this video, we're going to briefly talk about the solar PV module manufacturing and the supply chain. We'll look at what this concept is, the approved list of model manufacturers. We'll look at what are the ALMM companies. We'll look at the opposition of the order from within the government. कि क्या opposition हुआ है, who all are saying what and what are their reasons. Then this reimposition of this order. So this order was implemented in 2023. Then what happened was there were some considerations done और इसको ना there was an abeyance, यानी कि इसको डिले कर दिया गया था for some period of time, and now from 1st April 2024 this has again been implemented. So we'll look at the reasons for reimposition and what the arguments of officials are. Now at the end we will look at the domestic PV manufacturing and its prospects in India in the future, and at the end I have a question for you. So let's briefly look into the PV module manufacturing in manufacturing supply chain. So first you need to understand what PV is. PV stands for photovoltaic. So this is basically when the solar energy comes in, right? This process converts into electricity, right? And these modules, when receive the sun rays, they would convert this into electricity. Okay, अभी स्टार्ट कहाँ से होता है इसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग? इट स्टार्ट्स विद पॉलीसिलिकॉन, देन these are used to make ingots के बाद wafers के बाद these wafers are then assembled into solar cells, and these solar cells are then used to manufacture the PV modules, right, which are ultimately used in rooftops and solar farms. Now let's briefly look into the solar PV मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री एंड इट्स कॉन्ट्रास्ट विथ चाइना. सो इंडिया की जो सोलर पीवी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेसिटी है, व्हेन इट्स कंपेयर टू चाइना, इट्स वेरी लेस, राइट? चाइना हैज़ अ ह्यूज market share in this, right? और जो इंडिया है, इंडिया में भी देयर आर फ्यू कंपनीज विच हैव significant market share within India, like Bari, Adani, Vikram, Tata, MV, etc. Right? Now the approved list of models and manufacturing. So the ALMM order mandates all government assisted or associated solar projects to use only enlisted modules. Now what are enlisted modules? Enlisted modules are the ones that are produced by the companies which are in the ALMM list. Okay. The order aims to bolster domestic clean technology manufacturing and enhance energy security by reducing import dependence. So the basic argument is because it's very important to our energy security, we don't want to depend on foreign countries for our solar PV modules, right? तो इसके लिए import ban कर दो, right? Now when if you ban the import, all the mostly the government sanctioned projects, they're going to source their modules from domestic manufacturers, right? Domestic manufacturers. Now जब domestic manufacturers को order मिलेगा, they would receive revenue and they will start to amp up their production. जब उनका production improve होने लगेगा, जब उनका production बढ़ने लगेगा, तो due to economy of scale, it will eventually become cheaper, and as it becomes cheaper, it would be beneficial. Then it will come to come in comparison to in terms of price to the international players, right? Abhi this is 90%. So our domestic manufacturers are producing these modules 90% at 90% more rates than the imported or foreign manufacturers or manufacturers mostly from China, right? So it's very expensive. Now their bet is due to economy of scale, this price would come down, and when it comes to parity with international players, then they can remove this import ban. So it's classic protectionism, but in a shrouded in a different word salad. Now, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy reimposed its mandate requiring solar projects to source modules exclusively from a government approved list of domestic manufacturers starting from April 1. Now, let's look at the ALM list of companies. So, notably, 50% of the market share in India is controlled by 5 companies. And which are these 5 companies? Wari Energies, Adani Solar, Renew Power, First Solar, and Tata Power. Right? So these 5 are controlling more than 50% of the market share. Now, why is it a problem? Because this can lead to cartelization. Cartelization क्या होता है? Cartelization में essentially these 5 companies can decide the price of these solar PV modules in the market, right? And they can charge whatever they want. So that would be a negative thing. And these smaller, the rest of manufacturing is done by smaller companies. So they would not be able to compete with these larger corporations. Now, what is the opposition? What was the opposition and what is the current opposition of this order? So in March 2023, the then Minister of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, R.K. Singh, noted that the order was imposed prematurely, which was hindering the addition of solar capacity. And he also noted that the manufacturers were charging extortionate prices. ठीक है, तो extortionate price वो charge कर रहे थे for solar modules, which was way higher than the international prices, and this can also lead to hindering in increase of solar capacity. So as you know, our target for 2030 is 500 gigawatts of installed renewable capacity, right? अब इसमें से काफ़ी significant portion would come from solar energy, right? So for that we need to increase our solar energy capacity, right? Every year. अब जब आपको हर साल let's say 50 to 100 gigawatt भी अगर आपको let's say 50 in the best case you want to increase it by 50 gigawatts, would our industry be capable, would our domestic industry be capable to provide solar panels and solar modules? Well, uh, the answer is, according to the officials, yes. Yes, they think they can, and that's why they are imposing the import ban, right? And it was not just the minister, a public sector company, SJVN Limited, appealed to the ministry for a 9-month extension to the abeyance order. It is humbly submitted that the non-extension of procurement of solar PV modules for the manufacturers appearing in the ALLM will derail the ambitious target of Government of India to develop 50 gigawatt solar capacity and will also affect the tariff for upcoming projects. So yeah, not just that, if your solar modules are expensive, if the price is higher, the energy that would be produced and the tariff that would be imposed on that would also be higher. So ultimately, the end users are going to be paying more for the energy, right? And now, how are you going to be able to compete with the conventional coal-based thermal power? Now, what was their argument for reimposing the order? The ministry reimposed the order from April 1st, expanding it to include previously exempt open access and captive projects despite industry appeals. In May, it exempted export-oriented green hydrogen projects, which will potentially require 125 gigawatts of renewable energy. So, जो green hydrogen होता है, that is produced by electrolysis, of course, and that electrolysis is deriving electricity from renewable sources. ठीक है, renewable sources. तो इसके लिए भी they are using solar power. So, green hydrogen वाले जो projects हैं, इसमें import ban is exempt. The order was reimposed because senior officials in the ministry believed that the enlisted capacity of 50 gigawatt was sufficient and the duty-free import of solar modules from ASEAN countries was detrimental to domestic producers. So that was their argument कि ASEAN countries से when we are importing, it's very cheap and it will destroy our domestic industry. And also, we have enough domestic capacity to produce 50 gigawatt of PV modules for our yearly target. Now, growth of domestic photovoltaic manufacturing capacity in India. So, it was in 2020, the module production capacity was 15 gigawatt. It increased to 18 in 2022, 38 in 2024. It is around 50 now in 2024, and the projection for 2026 is 110 gigawatt. And one of the key steps, according to JMK research, where I have taken this excerpt from, according to this research paper, the key steps taken by the government to boost demand for domestic solar PV was the introduction of approved list of module manufacturers in 2019. So they are saying that this was the key reason why our domestic manufacturing would reach 110 gigawatts by 2026. Now the question, which of the following statement regarding the solar power in India is correct? So you have four options. India aims to achieve 100 gigawatt of solar capacity by 2030. The ISA was launched by India and France during the Paris Climate Conference 2015. Gujarat is the leading state in terms of installed solar power capacity, and the Kurnool Ultra Mega Solar Park is the largest solar park in the world, located in Rajasthan. So, the answer is the International Solar Alliance was launched by India and France during the Paris Climate Conference of 2015. This is incorrect. The 100 gigawatt solar power target was in National Solar Mission. It was by 2022, not 2030. The Gujarat is not the leading state. It is Rajasthan, which has the, in terms of installed solar power capacity, the leading producer. Karnool no, it is the Bhadla solar power plant, solar power plant located in Rajasthan, which is the largest solar power park in the world. You can pause the video and read the solution. Thank you. If you found this content valuable, please drop a like on the video, share this video with your friends and fellow aspirants, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more such current affair videos. Thank you very much.